Okay, so today, November the 4th, we are starting our coordinate planes. So starting out, oops, 7. Okay, starting out, a coordinate plane. It is an illustration, which is like a picture to me, that has an x-axis and y-axis and is numbered with integers. Now, I will say it's numbered with numbers, okay? Some of the numbers are positive numbers, some of the numbers are negative numbers. Matters which way you're going, okay? But it is a flat surface. It's just a flat surface for right now. And it's got the x going across, the y up and down. Okay, the origin is actually the point of intersection. It's the middle. Of the x-axis and the y-axis. On a coordinate plane. The origin's coordinates are 0, 0, meaning that is where the origin is. I call it root words, or y'all, all your Greek and Latin root stuff, but if you think about origin, it sounds like the word original or originates. It's where we start. It's where we all started at. So when we are looking for an origin, it's going to be smack dab in the middle at 0, 0. Okay? Now, the next part. This is where we're kind of learning the pieces and parts behind a coordinate plane. And some of us are going ahead of me, but you're not going to know all the pieces and parts. I wish you'd kind of stick with me. Okay, here we go. First off, I will say that one thing about coordinate planes, some of them, I guess you'd say, are made perfect and beautiful and all that. When we make ones on tests and quizzes, we make sure they're numbered and everything's beautiful. But sometimes they're not. Like this one, when we photocopied it, you can see where it wiggled. These lines should be separated the same amount, but there's just something away the copy machine did it. The other thing is, there's one on the back with no numbers. We don't have to put numbers. So part of this is me kind of teaching you where should the numbers be. Okay? So, starting out, kind of look up here. Okay, we call them ordered pairs. It is honestly kind of like a name. It's kind of like Miss Donahue. I have two names, Heather, Donahue. Okay, well there's something called an X and a Y. It's kind of like a first and a last name to that point. Okay. Now, the first thing you got to understand is that the X is always across. This is my x-axis going across. You might see the little X right there in the corner, but I realize it's kind of hard to see. But we should know that this is our x-axis. I need you to notice something. It's just like a number line. It has a 0 in the middle, and then going to the left, is all the what kind of numbers? The positives. And then go into the right's all the negatives. Even if it's not numbered, that is the way it's set up. Okay? Okay. Then we go to this y-axis. Now, the y-axis is right here. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a y right there. And it is the up and down. Okay, so X is across. Sometimes you'll see me put little arrows because X means go up across. Y means go up and down. Okay. Notice on this one, it is numbered, thank goodness, because it's the first one. So, notice going up. These are all what kind of numbers? Positives. All these are positives. And going down, they're all negatives. Now, here is the thing. It is always X then Y. If they give you a point, X is always first, Y is always second. 2 ways to remember that. When I was growing up, I just remembered it in the alphabetical order. I mean, X, Y, Z, they're in order. X is before Y, like you're done. Okay, but there's another way to memorize it. I need you to think about this. And I really need your eyeballs to look, because this is kind of the hard part. If you're not watching, you're like, I don't know what she's saying. Okay, you always start with the origin. So if a teacher's telling you, we want you to graph this thing, you're going to start here. You first decide on that X, if it is positive 2 or negative 2. Well, since it's positive 2, I need to go to the right, okay? Then if it's negative 5, that is the y-axis. That means I either go positive 5 or I go negative 5. Negative 5. The reason I say this is, and this is goofy, but it works. If you think about a baby always crawls across the floor before it stands up and walks. So I want you to think about it. You have to do this x-axis. You have to do that too before you can either go up or down. If you do it backwards, it's wrong. Okay, so like if I look at A here, it wants, this is the name, so this is like its name, letter A. It's kind of silly, but that's what they do. And they want us to put a dot at, or a point at, 2, negative 5. Now, my first one's always X. My second one's always Y. Okay, so 2 would be, positive 2 would be right there. Negative 5 would be down, whoops, I went too far, 1 second, right there. So that is 2 and negative 5. And then label it with an A, because that is what they asked us to label it with. Okay. The next one, B, negative 3 and 0. I know it looks weird, but it's a 0. Okay. Negative 3, I've got to go across to negative 3. 0 is nowhere. It's right there, right? It is on the line. That means I can't go up or down. I am just stuck putting it right there. It is on the x-axis because we can't go up or down. Good so far? Okay. C, 0 and 4.
Just go straight up.
Okay, because we are going across, there is nowhere to go, is there? 0 is right there. Positive 4 is up. Put a dot and put a C. Okay. And letter D, they want positive 5 and positive 3. Okay. One thing, make sure you always give it that letter, because without the letter, it's kind of wrong. I can't guess at what you meant. Okay, everybody good so far? So you always go across before you go up or down. Okay, here's the last thing that we got to learn about labeling these things. Okay, They also give it something called a quadrant, meaning a chunk where it's at. The quadrants, which I know some of them didn't print real good, or the words didn't. You might have noticed the word quadrant. Quad means 4, okay? This thing is broken into 4 chunks. One way to remember where the quadrant starts is, it's kind of like the letter C for coordinate plane. If I make a letter C, I start here, go here, then here, then here. So what I mean by that is, quadrant 1, using Roman numerals, is this quadrant, because that is where I started. This is quadrant 1. So if we asked you what quadrant is D in, it is in quadrant 1. Okay? Roman numerals, it does look like an I, but in Roman numerals, that is a 1. Okay, this is quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 looks like that in Roman numerals. It is 2 1s. Nope. Roman numerals. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, third one, going around this way. This is quadrant 3. And in Roman numerals, yes, it is 3 lines. Many years ago. Now, this is quadrant 4. 4 in Roman numerals is written as an I and a V, because what they say is the V is 5, and if there's 1 in front and that number's lower, you're going to take it away. So it's like 5 minus 1 is 4. So notice the C, notice the order. Because that's like, we're not only going to have you graphing points, we're going to ask you which quadrant is it in. So like letter A is in quadrant 4. And you've got to know the Roman numerals.
So we're only going to have to do 4.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, guys. Uh-huh.
So because there's 4 more letters in the alphabet.
Because there's what?
There's 4 more letters in the alphabet.
No. There's just 4 quadrants, 4 chunks. Oh, okay. Hadn't thought about that. Yes. Listen.
Do we have to connect the I and the V?
You connect it with that line and that line. Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay. Is everybody good so far? Okay. Like, that's the part you kind of have to memorize. You got to memorize to go across before you go up and down. You need to make sure you know that these are, like, this is X and this is Y. Make sure you know these are positives and these are negatives, because they're not all numbered. These are positives. These are negatives. Face forward, please. I get tired of wondering who's going to turn around to look at their friend while I'm teaching. Okay, now, here we go. Looking at the bottoms, this is the first thing we do. They just want us to write the ordered pair. To me, I think of it as a first and last name that names each point. Okay, now, this one is an F, we think. It just printed weird. So, letter A. Okay, first off, we know this is the x-axis. We know this is the y-axis. We know all these are the positives, negatives, positives, negatives. Okay, so letter A is down here. Okay, so I need to go across the x to -4, because it's right there, and then go down to -3. So it is -4, comma, -3. Now, there's a few of you that made it like 43 on the last test when we listed numbers, you got to put the comma, you got to put the negatives, and you got to put the parentheses because it's a pair, like a pair of shoes, so that those two go together. Okay, but you always go across before you go up or down. Okay, letter E. So if I go across, it's at 2, and I go up, it's at 1. So positive 2, positive 1. Okay, F. I'm going across to 0, down to negative 2. Good. Everybody good?
Is homework the back?
Okay. Any questions so far?
I couldn't.
Just breathe.
When I was on F, I was thinking, and I couldn't understand. I didn't know it was the 0.
Yep, that is the origin right there. That's the 0, 0 point. And it looks weird because they didn't number the 1 or whatever over here, but they just didn't number it because they couldn't fit it, I guess. Okay. Well, yeah, they fit the 2, but the 1 would have been on top of the 0. That one would have been on top of the 0, so they just didn't put it. Yeah. When we make a test or a quiz, I usually make sure that they're numbered. Like, because when we flip this thing over, you're going to see they're not all numbered. Okay? Yes.
Is there homework on the back?
Yes. If you'll give me a second, I will explain. I promise. Okay. Now, on the back, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down this side, doing some of them with you, telling you what we're looking for. Okay? I really need you to kind of get with me. This is the homework. Most kids will have finished it in class. Okay? In most classes, I've been able to do some, but I haven't really finished all of it. So what I'm going to do in this group is I'm going to do the right side. Here we go. Okay, so they want us to start out. I'm going to start with number 2, guys. If you want to fold your paper, it'd be smart. Here we go. I'm trying to make it big, but that is about as big as it'll go. Okay, they're wanting us to identify the point. So what we want to do is find where negative 2 and negative 3 is. And then what letter is it next to? So, the first one is always X. The second one is always Y. Now, I know that it's there, but if you can't see it, remember, we always go X, we go across, before we go up and down. It's not numbered. I'll be honest, you can number it, but it just looks like a mess. Remember that this is positive. Going this way is positive. Going this way is negative. Going up is positive, and going down is negative. You can write that every time, guys. If it helps you get the right answers, that's fine. I wouldn't, because you're going to need them on the next section. Yes. So, here we go. Negative 2 and negative 3. So, I know my negatives on the x-axis are to the left, so there's negative 2. Negative 3 means I'm going to go down 3. And that answer is T, right there. That answer is T. Negative 2, negative 3 is the dot right there, and it is a T. I'm only on number 2. Question. Well, you're counting lines. You want to go 1, 2, and then go down 3. 1, 2, 3.
What did you get for number 1?
We didn't do negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, and then I just found it below.
I mean, I would be real specific because there's a lot of dots in this thing. Okay, let's look at number 4. 3 and negative 5. That means I need to go across to 3. That's positive 3. And if it's negative 5, I'm going to go down 5. And it is letter
V.
V.
I said that.
Okay. Shh, please. Thank you. Number 6, 4 and negative 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1 is down 1, so it is X. And number 8, negative 4 and negative 2 is Z. Okay, so that's the first section, labeling points. Okay, the next section, you actually use the same grid, the same coordinate plane up there, but you are now telling me where is it at, what is its name, what is its ordered pair. So like, I find L. L is right here. So I'm thinking negatives. I got to count them. 1, 2, 3. So it's negative 3. And how far down? 1, 2, 3, 4. So negative 4. So it's negative 3, comma, negative 4. That is its ordered pair, or you could call it like its first and last name. Okay, N. It's way over here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4 and 1. I just wished I was as entertaining as them. That's all. Yes.
At first I found it was 4 and negative 1.
Yeah, be careful. Watch the whole positive negative thing. Okay. P. It is positive 2 and
Negative 4.
negative 4, yes. And R, 5 and 2. Yep, positive 5, positive 2. Take it, be very picky, guys, because you drop a negative sign or add a negative sign, and I have to count it wrong. Okay, now on the last part, 18 through 30 here, all we're doing now is we got to graph the points. And I'm going to say, in the end, it kind of looks like a bunch of kindergarten drawing, but it works. Okay? You got to be neat about it. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I'm trying to make it fit, but okay. So, once again, this is X, this is Y. These are positives. These are negatives, if it helps, if you need to do that. All they're marking is this is your origin or your 0, 0 mark. Okay, so they want us to put an I at 2, 1. So positive 2 would be here, and 1 would be up 1, right? And then we put an I. Okay, letter B, they want it negative 5 and negative 1. Ooh, sticking out over there. Notice something, guys. My dots are where the lines cross. They're not inside a box. Make sure. Okay. 22 is K. K is negative 1, which would be this side, and up 2. Okay, D is 2 and negative 5. Okay. Negative M is negative 4 and negative 5. Capital letters, capital letters. Okay, F is negative 2 and positive 5. And O is 5 and negative 5. And I'll admit, like, I have to literally check for dots and locations. And if you don't, like, if you just put a dot there with no letter, I can't count it right. Please be careful. Please be careful. Okay, your homework is to finish this side, and then don't forget, I'm going to be sending out the Quizlet link for the vocab for Friday, and then that Quizlet link for the fraction decimal equivalency just is going out all the time. So, yes. The O is in that corner. Okay. Okie dokie. Bless you, bless you. So I'm going to let you finish this. Most kids have finished it in class. They truly tried really hard.